I'm going to share with you my weight loss journey, what I have done, not only in a time of crisis when I was really packing on weight, but I also want to talk about some of the tools I use on a regular basis to stay the weight that feels comfortable to me. I hope you all know weight loss is a personal journey. Now, we always want you to be metabolically healthy, want your blood work to be great, but the goal of our weight should not be to all of us to fit into a size 4. Our goal of our weight should be we love living in our body and metabolically we are healthy. End of story. So in this video, I want to talk about how I lost 25 pounds and how over time, what tools I have personally leaned into. So let's dive in. And I hope you find this helpful. So first, exercise. What's really interesting is that the old theory of weight loss, and I know those of you that have been following me for a while, you hopefully, have heard me say this, but if you're new to my teachings, it's really important that we gather this or that you understand this, is that the old theory of weight loss was eat less, exercise more. Now, if we stop and we think about that for a moment, how did that work for us as a society? I know we're a worldwide audience, but really, how did that work for us? We're more obese than ever before. So it's not working for us in case you didn't know that. So we've got to reevaluate those two things, okay? So if we exercise, and the problem it's not working for us, just really clearly, is that if you exercise more and you eat less, you create a new set point in your body that your body says, okay, I need to stay at this set point in order to be this weight. So it's like there's a calorie delta from the output to the input, and that delta has to be the same every single day. Okay, well, what happens when it's Christmas or a holiday that you celebrate? Or in the US, Thanksgiving is coming up soon. So what happens when you gorge on that? Now all of a sudden your calories go up. Well, we've all experienced that. We start to gain weight. What happens when you injure yourself or you got really busy and you stop being able to exercise? Well, many of us have experienced that. We start to gain weight. So we need to dip into some of the things that I'm about to show you. And if I was to take exercise and food, and if you asked me which one was more important for weight loss, hands down, I would tell you food. Now, and everything about food, not just how we eat food, the type of food we eat, the macronutrients, but the timing of food, all of that matters more than exercise. Now, I will tell you, I'm not giving you a free pass to not exercise. I believe we should all be gaining muscle. I believe we all should be walking. I believe exercise really helps with our cognitive capabilities. But for this video, if we're trying to lose weight, we want to lean more into food. So the first part of that is timing of food. I have shared this story and it's such a powerful story. I want to share it again if you haven't heard it. And if you have, stick with me because I got some good information at the end of this video. A man, and he's allowed me to brag about him. His name is Todd. He came to me and he was over 300 pounds and he had tried every diet in the book. And he had a food addiction and he asked for my help. Knowing he had a food addiction, he was drinking a lot of soda, eating a lot of bad food. I didn't start with changing his food. I started with the timing of his food. And I had him eat all of that toxic food, that inflammatory, insulin-resistant creating food in one eating window. We got his eating window down to 8 hours. And so 8-9 hours. So he was fasting about 15-16 hours. He didn't change anything he ate. And what ended up happening was month by month, the weight started falling off. So that was over a year ago. Todd is down 150 pounds just by changing when he ate, not what he ate. So that's how powerful fasting can be. Now, if you don't believe me, I can tell you some studies, and I'm going to leave the links here in the notes. So a 2023 review. Now, the thing to know about reviews is reviews look at a lot of studies. They're like meta-analysis. And this one looked at 27 fasting studies. And in every single one, and there were lots of ways it looked at fasting, in every single one of these studies evaluated, people lost significant amounts of weight just by taking their food and compressing it into one eating window, leaving a longer period for fasting. So, and the weight loss varied. Again, I will leave that study in there, but there's no question. There's no question. If you don't want to exercise, just start fasting. Do time-restricted eating. Those of you that have been listening to me forever, put in there, how much weight have you lost? It blows my mind when I see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds since I've been here on YouTube talking about fasting that people have lost weight. It is unreal, and it is free, and it is simple, and all you got to do is train your body to do it. This is why this channel has grown so big. This is why this book has done so well, because fasting works. End of story. Okay, number 2, the keto diet. Okay, the keto diet. Let's unpack this one. And before you protein hounds are like, well, the keto diet's too low in protein, I'm going to make some modifications as I go through this. So here's what we need to know about the keto diet. The reason that the keto diet helps you lose weight without exercising is because what ends up happening is you are bringing your blood sugar down. Whenever we eat a carbohydrate that's lacking fiber, so like a piece of bread, our blood sugar spikes really high. And so now that blood sugar has got to come down, and it's got to get down long enough and far enough to switch over into fat burning mode. But when we're on the keto diet and we eat, our blood sugar doesn't spike as high. So guess what? All the numbers that I put in here, the 13 hours, 17 hours, 24 hours that it takes in a fasted state to get these incredible results, people who do the keto diet, the speculation is that they get over there quicker because the blood sugar isn't as high. It doesn't have to come down as much, so they can get over into the fat-burning place much easier. So the keto diet is incredible. Now, for those of you who don't believe me, let me give you a study. A 2021 study found that people on the keto diet had less ghrelin. Okay, ghrelin is your hunger hormone. So taking that refined carbohydrate out of your body, all of a sudden now your blood sugar doesn't spike as much and your hunger kicks off. Okay, that's really helpful for losing weight. But it also helped with feeling full. So it didn't just kick off the hunger hormone, but it also stimulated a feeling of fullness. And that translated in, obviously, to more weight loss. So pretty cool diet. Now for women, please note, if you're new to my channel, I wrote a whole book on why we don't keto all month long. And if you're menopausal, we don't keto all week long. So put it in here. You can dive in and read all about it. Okay, next one. New favorite. I'm going to keep talking about this. Protein. So we have 3 macronutrients. We have fat, we have carbs, and we have protein. Of the 3 macronutrients, which one do you think kills hunger the most? I'm going to let you think about that for a moment. You might have said fat, but that's not the answer. The answer is protein. Protein is the most filling of all the macronutrients. You don't believe me? I'm going to leave a study here for you. So the other thing we know about protein is it increases thermogenesis. Okay, well, what's that? Thermogenesis is your body heat. It brings up your body heat, which is AKA your metabolism. So those of you that are like, I think my metabolism's too slow, really what you're saying is I'm not creating enough thermogenesis in my body. And that's not necessarily a function of your unique body. I can't tell you how many times I sat with patients that would say to me, like, I think I have a thyroid problem. My metabolism's slow. Yes, that can be a thing, but it's not the most common thing. The most common thing is you're not eating the right macronutrients, so you're not elevating that thermogenesis, which means you're not raising your metabolism, and that macronutrient is protein. And hopefully you all know that I support the idea that 1 gram of protein for every pound of body weight. I know we're a worldwide audience, and so we'll have to do some translation into kilograms, but 1 gram for every pound of body weight will help you. That's how much you should have every single day. Now, the research shows that not only is it the most filling macronutrient, that a high protein diet is one of the best diets for weight loss. Okay, so let's just take a big picture view right now. What have we all been doing to lose weight for the last several decades? We've been counting calories. We've been exercising all the time. We have been going low fat, which is only going to increase hunger. And we have been villainizing the carbohydrate. We're like all on the bad carb. And we know the keto diet helps. But the poor little protein's been like sitting over here like, hey guys, I'm the MVP of the weight loss game. I'm over here. Pretty soon, all the attention's going to come over here. And you're going to see that I am your most powerful macronutrient to be able to help you lose weight. So make sure you're eating enough protein. 1 gram of protein for every pound of body weight that you want to be, your ideal body weight. Okay, next one. And don't worry, my story of weight loss is coming here in a moment. I'm going to tie this all together. So the next one is fiber. So this is really interesting. I want you to just walk through this with me for a second. So fiber stabilizes blood sugar. So this is when we are looking in the ketogenic diet, or I wrote in both Fast Like a Girl and the Menopause Reset, I wrote about net carbs. What's a net carb? A net carb is a total carb minus the fiber. And that's how you get the net carb. Well, why would that be important? That's important because fiber helps prevent a high blood sugar spike. So when we are eating a potato is going to have a little more fiber than a potato chip. So we want to have this fiber in our food so that it's a little bit acts a little bit like fat, where it puts a brake on this really high blood sugar. Plus, fiber feeds your microbiome, which, remember, your microbiome helps with feeding with stabilizing blood sugar. And there's certain microbes, by the way, in your gut that send a signal to the liver that say, hey, we just brought the blood sugar down. Go ahead and switch over to ketosis. Let's start burning fat. And those microbes that are doing that job for you, they want fiber. So let's make sure we're eating enough fiber. There's a really interesting study on fiber, a 2001 study, so a little bit old, that found that overweight people ate 18% less food and lost significantly more weight when they had a high fiber diet. Now, I want to stop here for a minute because I know we've got plant-based people and I know we have animal-based people. And at this moment, I just said protein and I just said fiber, and that might look conflicting. So first, my general stance on diet is you do you. What's working for you? Just don't do the Western diet. That's the only thing I'm telling you not to do. So, is there a possibility that in your diet there exists high protein, and there's some very high protein plants? Like, did you know broccoli is really high in protein? So you're getting the fiber and you're getting the protein. So is there a world where you could increase protein and increase fiber? Now, if you're plant-based, let's just make sure that you are putting in those higher protein vegetables and you're getting to that 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. If you are in the animal eating world, then let's just make sure you didn't get so excited about protein that you forgot to eat fiber. So let's make sure we're bringing both of those in. It's just thinking for yourself when you look at those two things together. Deal?
Okay, check this out. I have a free fasting guide for you all. It's free. And it's going to teach you all the basics of fasting. It's going to teach you how to kill hunger when you fast, which is really cool. And it's going to show you how to break your fast, among many other things. All you got to do is click on this link right here and enjoy.
Okay, last one. Okay, no, actually, I got a bonus tip after this. Last one is whole foods. If we just get processed foods out of the diet, like literally, I'm just going to be really bold as to say, if we could close every fast food restaurant on this planet, we would reverse metabolic disease. If we could take away the middle aisle of the grocery store and get rid of it and keep you all around the perimeter of the aisle where the fresh food exists, we would overturn the metabolic mess we are all in. So we've got to get back to whole food. Processed foods are killing us. So processed foods are the sugars and the grains and the unhealthy fats. Hopefully you all know that. And a whole food is the original food. An apple is a great example. It's a perfect, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. There has never been a more true statement that has continued on for years. I've been saying that since the 70s when I was born. So we want to go back to the whole foods. And when I told you that I would tell you my story, I was raised in a family with a mom who knew nutrition really well. She taught me at a young age how to read a nutrition label. I'm so great for that. She taught me all throughout my whole childhood that what you ate mattered. And then, of course, what did I do when I became a teenager? I rebelled against that. I went completely the other way. So in my teenage years and into my college years, I was a fast food junkie. Yep, I said it. I don't know if I ever said that publicly like that, but literally, fast foods. I was like, Mom wouldn't let me go to McDonald's when I was 10, so I'm going now that I can drive at 16. And I started eating a ton of fast food and I gained a bunch of weight. And I didn't know at that time, I never made that correlation. But the thing that took the weight off, the 25 pounds, was just something as simple as coming back to whole food. I just went back and I was like, oh my gosh, why don't I go back to how my mom taught me to eat? And when I did that at 19, 20 years old, boom, the weight dropped off. So just quality of food matters. I did an amazing interview with Vani Hari, the food babe. You can go listen to that on my podcast, the Resetter podcast. And we talked about ingredients, and she breaks all those ingredients down. So go listen to that because whole foods matter. And here's the thing about whole foods. They don't have an ingredient list. An apple doesn't have an ingredient list. So if you're not sure what a whole food is, just make sure they don't have ingredient lists. And it came from nature, it came from a tree, it came from the ground. Those are whole foods. Okay, last couple tips. And this is my new favorite. I'm such a walking fan. So I know the title of this video is without exercise, but I'm going to encourage you to walk. And I call it forward movement. So if you don't like walking, if you're a runner and you're like, oh, walking's really for lazy people, that was me. When I first started to look into the science of walking, I was like, really? Like walking is exercise? Come on. And now I've looked at all the studies and that's what I barely run anymore. I walk because it's so good for my joints. It's so good for my brain. But what we found in studies and gathering studies for this is that a 2017 study found that moderate daily walking caused people to lose about a half a pound a week. Okay, I don't know when you're watching this, but the holidays are coming. What happens during the holidays? During the holidays, people gain 2 to 3 pounds, sometimes even more, and they don't ever take that off because we're all eating our favorite foods that like make us feel like childhood and they're so make us all warm and fuzzy inside and they're tradition. Okay, what if we just put in a moderate daily walk every single day throughout the holidays? We could lose a half a pound a week versus the people who didn't walk. So it even, I'm going to throw in here as well, it even improved cognition. This was a 2023 study. And that's because walking calms the brain. So I can even tell you now what I do. I do a lot of my phone calls while I'm walking. I do a lot of business. I talk to my team. I talk to friends when I'm walking. Sometimes I'll listen to podcasts when I'm walking. So there's a lot to do when you're walking. Okay, and then here's the last thing I want to say on walking is that 5,000 steps is a good way to start. It's a start, and 10,000 is optimal. It's just a good little target to look at 10,000 steps. There you go. I can't say enough about how simple these are. I can't say enough about how inexpensive all of these are. We've overcomplicated weight loss. We don't need to overcomplicate weight loss. And here's what I love about this channel and what those of you who have listened all the way through and you've listened to my videos, please give me this gift. I want to see in the comments how much weight you've lost fasting. It's like the favorite thing I get to do every day is come to my channel and see how much weight you all have lost just from watching a free video on YouTube, because these things work. So please give me that joy. Give me that dopamine rush. How much weight have you lost building yourself a fasting lifestyle or using any of the tools that I just taught you in this video? So As always, don't give up on yourself. You were born in America. I'm cheering you on.
Okay, are you fasting and you're still not losing weight? Check out this video because you might be missing a key part of your fasting experience that's gonna unlock weight loss. So if you think about it, all the humans that emerged out of that time have the gene that allows us to go without food. And that gene, they believe, is in all of us today.